Good evening and welcome back to the channel. Now, in line with that video I did the other week about my autistic traits, and this is going to be a very, not a difficult video to share, but I feel it needs to be put out there because a lot of people out there, as I said in that video, don't think that I'm an autistic person or that I have the traits of an autistic person. Well, I can assure you I do. And the thing is, if you don't live with me, which you obviously don't, you're not going to know. Because all you're going to do is take me on face value, or take me from what you know about me, whether you went to school with me, whether you work with me, whether you've met me on holidays, on cruises, on days out, or on social media, and you're just friends on there. At the end of the day, you don't actually know me as a person. So, and I've been getting quite a few, some negative comments, but a few snide, sarky remarks about my videos. For example, one woman, I won't mention her name, when I shared a few links from my channel onto the group pages on social media about cruises, which were basically answers to people's questions, she was basically saying, stop bombarding this post with your videos, we've seen enough of them. Words to that effect. And I just thought, well, I'm sorry. Just because you don't like the videos doesn't mean to say that others don't watch them and appreciate them. And at the end of the day, I'm only trying to help people that have got queries, and there are loads. In fact, there's one on here now that says, has anyone had a problem with online check-in today? And 6 people have put comments, and that's for Discovery too, right? Which is the ship I'm going on in March, right? So they're obviously due to go on a cruise. Now, if I go and put a video on there, I will get a snotty message off this woman, or a comment from her, because it was that group that she put the comment on. And I'm thinking, well, I'm sorry, but if you don't like the videos, don't watch them. I've said it before. Don't watch them. Don't subscribe. Just don't make a comment. Keep it to yourself. Because at the end of the day, I'm putting my videos out there to help people with their queries. I've done cruises before. Like I said in past videos, since 2016. I've been cruising since then. I'm a very experienced traveller. I've been on my own a lot of times. I've been with family and friends on holidays as well. But to go on cruises on your own, as I've said in that other video, is a very big achievement for somebody that's got autistic traits. And I'm going to share the reason why that's happened to me. Because I bet a lot of people out there don't know about what effect things can have on you in later life. Now, you might sneer at it, but at the end of the day, don't sneer at it, whatever it is that I'm going to say next, because this has happened to me, and it has affected me badly. So, when I was 3 months old, 2 or 3 months old, I had a vaccine for whooping cough. So this was in 1983, which is when I was born. So 42 this year. Another couple of months I'll be 42. I had a vaccine when I was 3 months old, something like that, against whooping cough. Now, the effect that injection had on me was not good, because my mum thought I died because I didn't wake up. I was asleep for well over 24 hours. I didn't move in the cot either. I was gone, basically. My mum thought I died because I hadn't eaten anything, I hadn't drunk anything. I was just lying there still, not moving. But obviously, I was alive because I'm here telling you this now. But now, if we move the clock forward a couple more months, because if you remember, we've just had the COVID vaccines come out. Well, I chose not to have them, and this is part of the reason. But each to their own. After I had that first dose of the whooping cough vaccine, a couple of months later, I had the second dose. Big mistake. Big mistake, trust me, and I'll tell you why. When I had the second dose of that vaccine, I started having fits. And those fits developed into seizures. Now the consultants, because mum and dad spent no end of time going back and forth to Burton Hospital with me, and Derby Hospital. I was born in Derby, in the big hospital near Micklover. They spent no end of time going back and forth to the hospital. I was poorly, and because I was put on steroids, I put on weight. And the consultants did not believe anything mum and dad said about me having fits. They just thought, oh no, he'll get over it. Because I'd be in the room with the consultants and nothing would happen. So they just brushed it off, right? But then I'd go back home with mum and dad, I'd have a fit at home. So in the end, eventually, I did have a fit in front of the consultants. And when mum and dad made the comment about that it being the effect of a vaccine, they went quiet. They did not say a word, which means that they knew that it had had an effect on me, but didn't want to admit it. So I did have fits, and the result of that damaged my brain. So every time I had a fit, it damaged my brain, right? I wasn't fully brain damaged, but it was not far. But obviously I've got through it, because I've got this channel. But other stuff happened after that. When I had to go to a special school in Burton-on-Trent called the Crown School, which I think still exists. If you go into Burton from Tutbury and you turn left at that first roundabout, there's a pub on the left-hand side, you turn left down there. It was down that road. I went to the Crown School in Burton for special needs kids, right? And I was chewing my pencils, chewing pen tops, everything, and I've been biting my nails ever since I was a little kid. That's never stopped. It's been a bad habit, I know, but I'd rather do that than smoking or vaping. But again, each to their own on that subject. And then obviously from there, I went to first school locally, and then I went to middle school, and of course high school. But all the way through my school life, I was put on a special needs statement, and my concentration span was low, very low. I'd only have to go back into the classroom after break, and within 10 minutes I'd be saying, oh, can I leave the work? You know, I want to go outside and play, right? My attention span was zero, absolute zero. Maths, big no-no for me. And there was quite a lot of subjects I found difficult. Anything that involved practical stuff, like making things, I would get in an absolute panic. So I was on a and this went right through into high school. So I was on a special needs statement right through school, right until I left at 16. So I had a whole 8-9 years of it. But then even after school, I had difficulties in finding a job. I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to go to university. Didn't appeal. It did not appeal. But one thing I did do was learn sign language, British Sign Language. And I did the intermediate, and I passed both of them. Now, it's been years since I've done sign language. But even now, I can try and watch people when they sign, and I think, yeah, I've got a rough idea what they're saying. Because being autistic people are very clever and articulate, and there's quite a lot of actors and actresses out there, and people I know that are autistic and have got Asperger's, and they're very clever, particularly at art, whereas I'm rubbish at art. But one thing I'm good at is my memory can be good, and I'm very knowledgeable when it comes to a subject that I like to talk about. Particularly as a kid, Egyptology I had fascination with it, absolute fascination with it. And I've got quite a lot of Egypt books in this room, and models and things in this room of Egypt things. So it was a passion for me. In fact, I'll just show you on the camera. Just there, look. You can see just there on that bookcase, Egypt books, just there on that top shelf and on that shelf there as well. And of course, in these folders at the end here, these are cruises I've been on. But all the rest along this shelf are Egypt things. So I had a fascination with Egypt stuff right from school, from Windsor Park, middle school, right the way through to the high school. But even when I was at middle school, I even gave talks to children during school time. I was a pupil at the middle school, which was good to get out of lessons. And I was able to go and give a speech on Egyptology. And I used to take some of the models with me that I've got of Egypt things, of papyrus and mummies and things. you know, and a lot of the kids were fascinated with it. So, but even after leaving school, like I've said, I struggled to find a job. I applied for loads of jobs, got a few interviews, but nothing. Absolutely nothing came of it. Until I think it was 2002, something like that. I managed to get a job as a car valeter locally. And then obviously when that wrapped up, I went self-employed. And then I did some cleaning jobs. But obviously now I'm still cleaning, but in a supermarket. So, and I've been there since 2020. So it's pushing 5 years. But again, even at work, I have to just I get on with my job. I get on with my job as best I can, despite my difficulty and my issues. But like I've said, the biggest achievement for me is going on holidays on my own, going on cruises on my own, going on mini breaks, city breaks, whatever, trips out to zoos, having this channel, driving, having my own car, having a job, yes. All those things are really good. I'm a very good reader as well. Very good reader. I can put the right emphasis on the words when I'm reading. I can be very conversational. A lot of people don't realise it. And if there's a portion of words that have got hard names in, I can just read them off, no problem. Other people would struggle. And I don't need to practice because it comes naturally. So people have to recognise that with someone like me that's got difficulties, I've got a lot of talent and a lot of skills. Yes, I have my weaknesses. Yes, I have my faults. Nobody's perfect in this world. But I try my best at what I do. But what I don't want is people discouraging me from pursuing what I enjoy doing, which is this channel, going travelling. So when I put things on social media or on this channel about cruises, answering people's questions, I don't want people putting snide remarks, or like a bloke did the other night, saying, oh, stop scratching your nose and your hair and, you know, stop fidgeting. At the end of the day, again, that's all part of a trait of an autistic person. So just remember that, please. You know who you are. Just stop nitpicking at what I do. At the end of the day, it's a passion for me. And maybe look on Google at autism and what it means and why people do what they do. Because at the end of the day, yes, we have to exercise self-control in a lot of our lives. But for me, it's a passion of doing travelling. So I can't help it when I'm fidgety, okay? It's called nerves. How would you feel if you were doing a video? See, I just did it then. And thousands of people watching you. Imagine if you were on a stage and you've got TV cameras on you and you've got millions of people watching you. How nervous would you be? You know, you make a mistake and people are taking the rip out of you. Not that you can see it, but you know in your mind, oh, I bet there's somebody taking the rip out of me because of this, this and this. So maybe have a bit of empathy. I have to try and develop it. Sometimes I don't. I have my own shortcomings. I don't always show empathy or sympathy for people, and I do apologise for that. But again, it's not intentional. But I wanted to share this video because a lot of people out there don't know this about me, that as a result of a vaccine, that's what's caused the damage. And I've even seen diaries. My mum's had diaries of stuff that happened to me, and I've read them, and it's quite upsetting. It's quite upsetting to think that I actually went through that as a kid, and it put a lot of strain on mum and dad. You know, constant trips to the hospital because of me having fits at home and everything. It was horrible, horrible. A lot of people never thought I would ever progress or do something that other people would do normally, but I've outsmarted a lot of them, doctors included. Ones have said, oh, he'll never be able to read, he'll never be able to do this, do that and the other. But I've achieved all of it. I've achieved all of it. So just because you're autistic or have anxiety, you're not beyond help. There's people out there. Even having a faith can help you. If you've got a faith, whether people agree with it or not, that can help you. It's helped me. So, you know, it's something to be proud of, but obviously a good pride. So I'm going to continue with my channel. Obviously, it's going to grow from strength to strength, as it is doing. I'm pushing 400,000 views, and there's plenty of series coming up. I do plan to go to a couple of zoos in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned. Obviously, I've done quite a few cruise videos, pre-cruise videos, and quite a few people have been watching them. So I hope this video, as hard as it's been to say all this, so that you are aware of the situation with me, Hope that it's inspiring and that it makes you think, yeah, okay, he's got his problems, but I really enjoy the content of his channel. And I know one girl I went to school with, Kerry Anderson. Hi, Kerry. And Mark, your husband. I know that they enjoy watching my videos. So I hope this video has inspired you. And Gordon Keeling up the road, he watches my channel as well. And I watch his. So hi to you, Gordon. And anyone else out there, Vesna, Kate and Josko in Croatia. Hello to all of you guys out there in Croatia, in Dubrovnik. So just so that you know that just because I've got issues, it's not stopping me pursuing travelling. And I love going on cruises. I love meeting people abroad on cruises. I love dining with them when I'm on a ship. I love to hear your stories. So any other questions on cruises, please leave a comment in the comment section under this video. And subscribe, it's free. I'm not going to chase you, but you are welcome to subscribe. It's at ColeSmith25. So I hope this helps you out there understand me a little bit better. I'm not a toxic person. I'm not a narcissistic person. I've got issues, yes, but I've got a very kind, caring attitude towards people out there. And that includes you guys that watch my channel. So please continue to support it. I appreciate the support so far. Stay tuned for the series coming up. I intend to do some series in the next few days and weeks ahead. I obviously will do a video on it to announce it. So thank you for watching and good evening.